Good afternoon, everyone. I am Enrique Palomeque from the company Onrobot. First of all, thank you very much to Bresimar for the invitation and the opportunity to share this talk with you. During this time, I will show you the solutions we develop for collaborative and for industrial robots and applications. If it wants to work. Okay. So, Onrobot is a global company located in Denmark. We have the main production in Denmark, but we also produce in Budapest, in Hungary. What we do is we develop solutions. This means hardware and also software for collaborative applications. So applications where there is a collaborative robot involved, and also for light industrial robots. For us, a light industrial robot is a robot that handles loads below 20 kilos. We have a sales office located in all over the world, and we work in the Portuguese market from our office located in Barcelona. In this video, we want to show different tools that we develop for all the robotic applications. So as you see, we manufacture 2-finger grippers and 3-finger grippers. We use these grippers to move any product from one point to another with a robot. But we also develop vacuum grippers. They have the main features that we don't use pneumatics, and this is why we say we manufacture intelligent grippers and low energy consuming grippers, because we don't use pneumatic air in any of our products. We only use electrical products, and the reason is not only the consumption of resources in a plant, in a manufacturing plant, but also because with electrical tools, we can extract many more feedback coming from the tools. For example, if we talk about a gripper, we can know during all the time where all the fingers of the gripper located. If we are working with vacuum tools, we can know the level of vacuum. We can always know if we have gripped a product or not. We can measure force. We can detect contact with an operator or with another tool or with an object that is located in the application. And this is a very powerful tool because we can go closer to smaller companies. We can bring robotics to companies that never before thought about using a robot in their production. Maybe because the robots in the past were too big or they were too complex to be used in SME or in a small medium enterprise. We say we want to become the one-stop shop for collaborative applications. This means if you have to produce any part, we want to be your partner, and we want to be the unique manufacturer for any of the tools that you will need to solve an application in your production. We work in the concept of easy deployment. So we make the tools as easy as possible to be used in the production. This means the tools are thought in the way that you can mount them in any of the robots that you have, no matter how big the robot is or no matter the brand of the robot. And we also make a unique software that makes the programming of the tools as simple as possible. So you will not lose time and resources making the application to run. If you are an integrator, this is a powerful tool because you can use less resources when making your application work. Your engineers will use less time getting this robot to work. And of course, if you are an end user, you are the end customer, you want the tool to be as easy as possible to use, because you don't want your operators to lose too much time on the tool, rather than in other more productive tasks that they could have. We say we make the tools to be as much intelligent as possible, and this is the concept behind electrical tools, electrical grippers, electrical vacuum, because we can extract all the data coming from the tool. Sometimes when we use pneumatic tools, this is not possible, or we cannot extract as many information as we can with an electrical tool. Here we see one example of our two-finger grippers, and we are making a point here to the built-in tool changer. This means all the tools, they have this element, and then you can only screw them in the robot, and you will be working in less than 1 hour with any of the grippers. Intelligent operations means that all the grippers will tell you what they are doing at all time. So you can know if you grip the product, the size of the product that you have gripped. So you can decide if you have to put it in one place or another place, or if the part that you grip is correct or is not correct, for example. We can also detect if the part is in the correct position to be gripped, and then we will close the finger or not. We will open, etc. We have developed new products within this year. The most important innovation is what we call Weblytics. I say it's the most important innovation because it's the first 100% software product that we have developed. Weblytics is a monitoring software that you can use to know what is the robot doing at all time. So with Weblytics we can monitor if the robot is working, what are they doing, how many parts we produce. So for example, if you are a production manager, you can compare different shifts, morning shift, afternoon and night shift, and you can see if there is any variation in the number of parts that you produce. Maybe you will detect that there is one shift that is producing less, and then you have to make a corrective action in that shift. For example, maybe the action is only give more training to these operators in this task. With Weblytics, you can create alarms or events, and you will get an email if the robot is stopped, if there is an emergency, if you are losing parts. So for example, if the robot is working during the weekend, you will get an alarm saying that the robot is stopped by any cause, or maybe you will get an alarm saying that you are producing less parts than the objective that you selected. So you can take the necessary action, and the robot will not be working during the whole weekend without taking any part. With Weblytics, we can monitor not only the robot, but also the tool. If you have a gripper, you can see what is the temperature of the gripper, how many cycles the gripper did. You can know when you have to do the maintenance of the robot, or when you have to do the maintenance of the gripper. All this you can monitor, and you can create the alarms in the way that is better or more suitable for you. Another new product is the BGP20. This is an electrical vacuum gripper. It has 4 electrical pumps inside, and we work with 4 channels. This means that you can pick 4 different products at each time, and you can use different vacuum levels for each of the products. You can see this gripper working in the booth of Bresimar during this show in EMAF with a collaborative Hyundai robot. The interesting thing about this vacuum gripper is that we don't use pneumatic, as I said in the beginning. So we don't have to use a compressor. We don't lose money producing the air. We don't lose money from leakage in the pneumatic installation. So it's in the long run, it's a save of money if we use an electrical vacuum gripper. I have prepared some videos with application examples with Hyundai and Denso robots. For example, in this first video, we can see a soft gripper. This blue part that you see in the gripper is a silicone part, which is certified to be in direct contact with food. So this is a gripper that can be used in the food and beverage industry to pick whatever the product is, it's a silicon that can be adapted to the size of the product. It is IP67, so it can be washed. It can be cleaned with cleaning products. And we can use it not only in food and beverage, we can also use it in applications where we have a high variation of shapes in the workpiece, because the silicon can adapt. It's a soft, so it can adapt to the size of the object that we have to grip. It has two working methods, what we can call the normal working method, and then we have what we call the gentle grip. When we have to manipulate a very soft piece or food, we can use the gentle grip, so we will not mark or smash the product. In the next application, we see a much more faster robot. This is an industrial denso robot, which is using a smaller vacuum gripper. It's a similar gripper to the VGP20 we saw before, but here we have 2 channels instead of 4 channels. You see, it's quite fast gripper. We can use it for plastics manipulation, for carton boxes, for wood, for metal, different materials and sectors. In this case, it's a packaging application, but we can also use it for palletizing. As you see, there is only one cable running through the robot arm, and this is clearly an advantage because we don't have pneumatics and many cables around the robot arms. Here we have 2 channels, so we can customize the gripper, and we can grip 2 different products with 2 different vacuum levels. In this third application, is the last application we have prepared for today. We have a special 2-finger gripper. This gripper has 2 force and torque sensors in the fingers, so we can measure what we are touching. So this gripper is imitating the way the humans are touching the products, because when we are gripping something, the first contact point are our fingertips. So we imitate the human hand with this gripper. We can measure force in X, Y, Z, and also torques in X, Y, Z. Also, this gripper, it has 2 optical sensors in between the fingers, in the fingertips. And we use these optical sensors to detect if there is something in between the fingers, and also to see what is the size of this object. So before closing the gripper, we can know if we have to grip one piece, for example, workpiece name A or B or C, because we are measuring the size. So we don't need external vision systems or external cameras, external inductive sensors to know the size of the object that we have to grip. The force and torque sensors can be used, for example, to move and touch the surface, so we can detect if we are in the gripping position. For example, if we have to do an insertion, we can go with the grippers, touch the surface, we know what is the height of the surface, and then we can try to find the hole. If we have to insert the pin, we can measure the force, and we can find the way where the forces are lower, and then this means that we are finding the hole, and we can insert this hole in the position. We can also measure the torque, so if we have to assemble 2 components, one with the other, we can measure the torque, we can turn the gripper, and with the fingers we can measure this force and then reach the torque that we want to make with the gripper. So why are we working always with these collaborative robots and industrial robots? Because we think that production is increasing and there is a bigger need in the market for automation and also for robotics, and we think the niche is these small applications are not the big loads, not the big work pieces where we already know that there are industrial robots there, we know the applications, we know how to do, but there is also a very big market for these collaborative robots where the operator can stop doing a task that is not healthy for him, is not ergonomic, and the robot can take this task. and the operator can move to a more productive operation for the company. Somewhere where the operator will bring more value for the production, and for the repetitive, for the autonomous, for the non-healthy task, we can employ these collaborative robots. And for this, we are developing all this wide portfolio of tools. For example, we have a sanding and polishing tool, because we know that sanding is a time-consuming and is a non-healthy task for an operator. Is a task that the operator doesn't want to do. They don't like to be 8 hours sanding a surface, and it's a task that it's very easy to automate with a robot and with a sanding tool. Also, screw driving is an application where we know that there is no value added from the operator to the company, because he will spend his whole working hours screwing the same screw in the same hole with the same torque. So it's something where the operator will not be realized, he will not feel happy after a long time, and also the company is not getting any benefit from this operator. We can use a robot which is by far much more precise than the human operator. The robot will always go to the same exact position, and the Onrobot screwdriver will always screw this screw with the same torque. And if we reach the torque, we will get a signal, we will get a value, we can store this value. If we don't reach the desired torque, we will also store this value, and we can use all this data for quality control. If the end customer will get a non-OK workpiece and will make a warranty claim to the producer, then he can go to his database and check what was the torque achieved by the screwdriver and the robot in this exact workpiece. This is something that is very difficult or impossible to be measured with a human operator. We also develop vision systems that can detect workpieces in a table, in a position, and we can detect different heights. With the vision system, we can make differentiation of workpieces by contour, by inner characteristics, inner features. So we can know when there is a workpiece that is not okay, and we can take this out of the production. And all this data is sent to an Onrobot server if we use Weblytics, as we saw in the past. And then the production manager, the operator, the maintenance manager, they can go to Weblytics and they can check all the data from the screwdriver, from the vision system, from the gripper, and it's a really powerful tool to detect bottlenecks and detect possible problems that for sure we will have in our production, in our robotic production. But if you imagine, if you have many robots working the production from Monday to Sunday, it's very difficult for a manager to see where there is a bottleneck, where there is a problem with the robot. It's something that really is really complicated to be detected by the human operator. If we can send all the data coming from the robots to Weblytics, it's a very powerful innovation, and in real time we can know where are the problems or the bottlenecks in our production. These were the tools and the solutions we wanted to show you today. If you have time during the EMAF, we invite you to the Bresimar booth to see the BGP20 with a Hyundai robots live working and palletizing boxes. Thank you very much for your attention.